welcome to this refreshed first look map tour on GOLDCREST Valley on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, GOLDCREST Valley returns to the Farming Simulator franchise. You may be new to the franchise, you may have never played this map before, you may be new on FS19. This was one of the start maps on FS17. This changed a lot of things for a lot of console gamers because with FS17 came mods which we didn't have before in FS15 on console. So this brought a whole new realm of gameplay, and this was the new map because I think this came out on FS17 with Sosnovka, and Sosnovka had come out as an additional map on FS15, so this was the new map. I'm gonna go out on a I'm gonna get a load of grief for this, and I am. What I normally say is when a map gets converted over, and it does say on the website this is a map of Farming Simulator 17 converted and modernised for FS19. It doesn't say if it's seasons ready or seasons compatible, so I don't know if it is. This has been made by Puma 145 and Zylac 04, 299.5 megabytes. I always say when a map gets converted over, has it been changed enough to kind of make it relevant? This is another one of those nostalgia maps. There are a few tweaks and changes. Things like textures and buildings and various different things have been updated, upgraded, changed, but a lot of it is still the same. And when I say a lot of it, most of it is still the same. It does, however, seem more, to me personally, more vibrant. It seems crisper, cleaner, but that obviously comes with FS19 and the graphics that we got with FS19. Where do we start? I'm going to do this. I will add in a few bits here and there regarding kind of the older version, but we start pretty much central on the map, actually, at the main farm. I'm on new farmer mode at the moment. What do we start with on new farmer mode? Well, the main farm, field 15, 14 and 12. We've got a barn, we've got a farm silo and a lime station. You'll notice there's not a farmhouse. The other thing about this is the slot count. On New Farmer, it's only used 352 out of 1299 slots. That gives you 947 slots to play around with. That's pretty impressive. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you don't have any vehicles or anything at all, or any land, and you start with 254 used out of 1299, which gives you 1045 slots to play around with. Now, there's a couple of ways that's been done. One, you don't start with a lot of equipment. Two, looking on the map, you don't start with any animals. On the previous version, sheep were here, pigs were up here, cows were down here, but weirdly that is showing on the map, but that isn't there. It's a bit of an odd one, because if you do that, that shows you where the new map is, where the new field is. So yeah, bit of a peculiar one. As far as field prices and things go, I always ask about the biogas plant. Biogas plant up there is, for that biogas plant and the land around these two fields, is only 280. Not horrendously expensive for the biogas plant, and it's a big biogas plant up there as well. Field prices have changed dramatically since the FS17 version, and I'll show you what I mean. 95 grand. Now, field 5 and field 20 were among the biggest on this map originally, and they were, I'm sure, like into the millions, weren't they? Or am I imagining things? That one, 261,000. Field 5, 214,000. The forest up the top corner here in the northeast, 393. And we can buy lots of these fields, and you can buy the land around them. 10 grand for that one. So field prices are not going to hamper you at all. There's another forest down there, and there's more forestry all around here. So yeah, like I say, field prices are not going to be an issue. Our actual starting plot here, if you sell that bit off, that's 117. That field's 23. That one's 38. That one's 51. You know, I honestly think it makes it more, obviously more affordable, but more achievable if you're starting out, if you're new to the franchise, new to the game. You know, it kind of gives you an easier access, an easier route into how to play it. The sell points are pretty much all the same as they were before. We have got two railroad networks. We've got the main sort of hub here in the middle, Railroad Silo East. We've got another Railroad Silo East there and Railroad Silo West. Those are silos where you can load in and store and load into the trains, as we got on Ravenport. And then we've got sell points, Maplefield Mill, the sawmill, obviously for our lumber. We've got Wright Agribusiness up the top. Agribusiness? That should be agribusiness. Biogas plant, that's a silo. GOLDCREST Pacific Grain. We've got Mary's Farm in the bottom corner with the animal dealer down there. Denton Bakery, Spinnery, and Gomez Ridge Acres. So the sell points are all exactly the same, and they're in the same places. The animal thing has thrown me a little bit, but it does kind of give you those options. With so many slots to play with, you're not now tied down. It's like you can come back on, you can play FS17 GOLDCREST Valley, but doing all the things you wanted to do back then. The things you might have wanted to change. You might not have wanted the animals where they were. All those kind of things, you've got the option to do that now. I'm just buzzing because this is where my channel really kind of changed, and I started to pick up subscribers and it started to move forward. It's very nostalgic being on here. Right, we start with a pickup. Around the corner, this was kind of the test map where you learnt the new ways of FS17, so it's kind of cool that everything's here. We've got a little Fiat 1300 with a small trailer. We've got the New Holland TX32, and we've got a couple of tractors out on the fields. They were the kind of showing you how to go through the motions of learning the ropes, and they're kind of where they were before. We do have a hay barn here. And what has changed, and like I say, there are a few little changes here and there. That silo, I think, was that silo there, or was it smaller? And there was a shelter behind there, and the shelter's not there now. So there are going to be a few tweaks, a few little differences, a few buildings that have changed, some buildings that are now here that weren't before. But for the most part, it is the same. But for those of you that are new, we're going to whiz round anyway, and we're going to have a look. What I am going to do is head up the hill to the railway line. We're going to do the two loops on the railway, so we'll take in a lot of the scenery, and then what we'll do is whiz out in the pickup to look at a couple of the bits that we've kind of missed. So what I'm going to do now is go up the hill here to the railway line, wait for the train to come, and we'll have a quick whiz round. It just, I don't know, it just seems very vibrant to me. I don't know. Again, I just could be imagining things, but it seems, and I'm smiling like a little kid. It's great being back on it. So the railroad we're first going to look at is just overlooking the farm where I just was. We come up onto the hill. We're now in the train. Around we go. We're heading south past Field 19. It's incredible. I'm just thinking of all the jobs or the contracts or the things I did on this map. I put a lot of hours onto this one. Sweeping around the bottom. Got a few level crossings. Fantastic. Like I say, a few of these buildings have changed. There are a few little differences here and there. Just seems a lot smoother, I don't know. We're going to come round on the first of Railroad Silo Easts, under the bridge here, and this is kind of the main hub. This is where the two railroads meet. So what you can in effect do is swap things over. You can unload from your train into the silo here, and because you've got the two grain legs, you can then load into the other train on the other track and take it off to sell points on the other side of the map. So you can kind of swap things over here should you wish to do so. This takes us back round again. It doesn't take long. We won't get around all of the map. The northern part of the map up by Wright Agribusiness is right up on the hill, and you kind of sweep up. There's a hydroelectric dam just there. The great thing about this was 17, it's one thing I do miss on 19, was the gold nuggets, because you kind of got to explore a map. You went around the map looking for them all, and you found all these things. Off to my right is the biogas plant, just up there on the hill. Not too expensive to buy, and I think that's got 5 bunker silos. Yeah, 5 bunker silos. As we sweep up the hill here, we come to the next of the Railroad Silo Easts, and just up on the hill, as we go through this little gorge, as we come up, there's a fuel station just off to the left, just over there through the trees, and the northeast forest we kind of look to the price of, that's just over there. So here's another one of our silos. You can unload into there and then transport around with the train, or however you want to do it. Another crossing. and back round to pretty much where we started. That's the first of them. So what I will do is whiz back round to the hub, we'll get the other train and we'll do the other leg round there, and then we'll whiz round and pick up the other bits that I want to show you. If you played on this before, if you remember this from 17, it's going to feel very familiar. So, the second of the railroad networks, leading from the central hub again. We're going to go around the other loop, which takes us out more towards the town. So we're heading south again. Little diner just there. I love these bridges. I think it's brilliant. This was what introduced us to drivable trains as well. So we've got Railroad Silo West is this one here. Again, you can load into here, then load into the train. Those three are not sell points. But as we come round, town's all here, off to the south. Under the bridge. Oh, I'm just wondering, is the hotel still there? Yeah, hotel's just through there. Transport jobs and things just come up. There are contracts available on this map. So, one of the sell points, which is just here. Now, this sell point, as far as I recall, and I think it's still the same, whilst you can drive in here, this is only a sell point for the train to unload into. So, we've gone to the map, but this is Maplefield Mill, and the actual sell point is on the railway line. I don't think you can unload vehicles onto there. But, continuing on, we're going to head up towards the sawmill. The loops aren't particularly big. Isn't it weird? When this first came out, it seemed much bigger. I don't know why. The loops seemed bigger. The track seemed to go on forever. You know, it's one of those, I suppose you misremember as you get old, you know. So the sawmill's just off to the right there. The lumber point and the wood chip point are just there. If I recall correctly, I'm looking to CLEG here. On this one originally, that was a mill pond, wasn't it? You could put logs into the water there and make money, couldn't you? She doesn't remember. I tested it a little while ago and I threw a log into there and I didn't make it. I owned it. I bought the land, but I didn't get any money, so I'm assuming it's not anymore. Or maybe again, maybe I misremembered that. But the golden days of farming. Anyway, coming back around, and that's the loop done on the train. So what we're going to do is head back over to the main farm, grab the pickup, and we're going to go around and do some of the sell points and bits and bobs on the periphery. And again, hopefully you kind of get a feel for the map, what it's like, and whether you want to play it or not. So, back at the farm, and in our pickup. Now, there are no, actually, before I move on, there are no mods on this in so much as there are no modded buildings or anything. It is another reason why the slot count's probably so low as well. Like there's not even a farmhouse. But here's the thing, I meant to show this earlier. I need to go into this menu. Under miscellaneous, just the very basic stuff. Under animal pens, just the giant stuff. Nothing modded in there. Silos and stuff, again, all exactly the same. Decoration, just the sandcastle. Sheds, just those three. Under farmhouses, well, there aren't any. There's not even a section for farmhouses there. So you're going to have to download and install a farmhouse if you want to sleep through the night. There is not one available for you at the start. What we're going to do is head north up from the farm, and we're going to go out to one of the sell points on the periphery. We'll go down this track here. It's brilliant. I suppose that's always going to be the same with any of the maps you kind of start out on a game. Things like Westbridge Hills and this one, I put a lot of hours on. Bjornholm, massive amount of hours. Sosnovka, ton of hours on. It's always going to feel like coming home. It's such a weird thing. What I will say is GOLDCREST Pacific Grain, so this is one of the sell points. These are incredibly steep, but if you look there, it's like it's just kind of been plonked on top. That isn't great, I'll be honest. Driving up onto that, with trailers and tractors, and you're not going to get an articulated lorry up there particularly well. But it's things to point out. Look at that. That's not great. I've bottomed out in the pickup. So again, I don't know whether they'll... I mean, generally speaking, most maps, they get released within a week or two of release. There'll be an update, because little things like that will crop up. Things that didn't necessarily show up on PC when it was converted, but then when it goes over into console, you know, you get these little things appear. But anyway, so that's one of the sell points. We're going to head round the outside and up towards Mary's Farm and the livestock market. Can I nip out? Shouldn't have done, but I can. There's a little track just off to the left, and as far as I recall, the bridge was big enough to get vehicles across. At least it always used to be. So more forestry down here as well. There's no shortage of forestry. I think there's four forests, I think. And there's trees dotted around all over the place. Cross over here. One of the points I always liked on this map, this is one of the biggest fields. It was one of the biggest fields, and price-wise, it's not too bad at all. Was down here. It was Wilson's tree nursery. I just thought it was a really nice touch originally, and it's still here. Winston's, there you go, not Wilson's, Winston's. So we're going to head down here, up the other side. Now we've got this main route. A dual carriageway we call it in the UK, but freeway. It's not an interstate, is it? Is it too small to be an interstate? I don't know. I'm not up on my American roads, but this goes across east-west on the map, right the way through the town itself. This was always a good one for speed tests on new vehicles and things like that, because you get a nice straight run. But what we'll do is we'll whiz round up the hill. We are now heading into the southeast corner of the map, and this is where Mary's Farm sell point is, and the livestock market. This was where I think I first noticed that when I came around this, had a quick look earlier. Again, the steepness of these, they're a bit of a bump up type thing, but there you go, that's Mary's Farm. The livestock market just here, so for buying, selling, loading or unloading. If you want to do it from here, you can come up to the livestock market, or down to the livestock market actually, right there. We're going to continue on round to the town, to the store, where you've got Denton Bakery, we've got the Spinnery, and a few others. I'm going to head round, so we're now going on the southern part of the map, right alongside the river where the bridge is, just there. Just over there, that building, I'm pretty sure used to be an Excel point originally, but I don't think it is anymore. That's just a building now. If we swing round, there was a little picnic building which is still there. Like I say, it's very samey, but in a familiar way. Has it changed enough? Probably not. We do have another gas station, fuel station just here. And through there with the muffins, they are muffins, aren't they? On the top is Denton Bakery, that's the sell point there. And then we've got a ball of wool on top of a building just up here. I always used to have a ball of wool on the roof, which was the Spinnery. There we go, there's your Spinnery just there. And coming out here was where the cow farm used to be, the dairy. And it's still showing on the map, that's what I mean, but the field comes right out to the edge here, so this was where it all used to be. So yeah, it just feels weird that not being there. Right, round to the store. I think that's pretty much all the peripheral stuff I wanted to show. The other bits we did on the train. So, up on the hill just over there, that is, where are we? Gomez Ridge Acres, that's the sell point up there, just over there on the side. And here we've got our store. Morgan's Massive Motors, just here. So our buy point is just there. Any work you want to do on your vehicles is just there. It used to be a bit further over, I think, because you've got bigger vehicles. Oh, did I? Anyway, it's here now, regardless. If you get anything stuck in a river, ditch, can't get it out, rolled over, whatever it might be, your reset point is here. So if you reset any vehicles, they come back here to the store, not to the farm, because obviously with the way FS19 is now, you could place your farm anywhere, so it'd be pointless having a reset point at a farm that you're not actually at. So the store is your reset point, and that's pretty much it. Frosty Delights. I'm sure when we did some videos on this, I brought CLEG down here for ice cream, didn't we? I'm sure we did. She's grinning at me across the table. We did. Happy memories. Anyway, that's it. That's GOLDCREST Valley. I would say in a nutshell, but it's taken me a little while to get around it. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's just a quick look at it and get a feel for it. And like I say, you may be new, you may have played on this for ages before. Pretty much the same as it was, which for me is normally a negative, but I don't feel like it is actually on this one now. I don't know why, because I suppose there's a lot of scope to do plenty with it with all the slots you've got available. So there you go. If you have enjoyed this and found it useful and informative, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.